That day was kind of a weird day, just that eerie feeling. We had word that, hey, the storms are coming. The Weather Service had been reaching out to us. We'd been getting the alerts. Be prepared. Told my wife, I said, I've got to get to work. And she goes, oh, the weather's going to go by us like it always does.
We'd watched the clouds all day, just about. So I called my son-in-law, and I said, what about the weather this afternoon? He says, it's not good. And when he says it's not good, I knew I better pay attention.
It was getting kind of raining hard and blowing, and my neighbor, she noticed their kid's trampoline went by, and she said, well, we better get inside.
It wasn't but just a few minutes, and he said, get your mama in the shelter, quick, Misty. And then he called right back, and he said, now. We just flew up there and got off and got in that storm shelter. As it was coming, it was bringing the darkness with it, and it was ferocious.
I'm traveling out to that area to see if I can get eyes on what was coming in. So I got out there pretty quick, and I called one of my local emergency management coordinators, and I look back south of me, and I can see it dropping down. And I'm like, Chief Graves, this is massive.
A severe weather outbreak taking its toll on the south central portion of the country. 18 tornadoes touching down across 3 states. Texas hit the hardest. This massive funnel touching down near the city of Paris.
And so as we were going in the door, we could see that thing coming across the pasture.
Oh, it's coming right.
And it was just awful, awful.
It's coming right at us.
It's funny how your life can change within a matter of a couple of minutes.
On November 4th of 2022, an EF4 tornado touched down in Lamar County.
It's close!
It remained on the ground for over 25 miles, carving a path of destruction 1 mile wide and leveling almost 100 homes. But despite all of that destruction, not a single fatality was recorded.
Can you believe the wind didn't blow these way? These were in my house, on my back porch. Of course, it took my back porch away. I'm Sandra DeFreitas, and this used to be my home, sitting right out there. But in February of last year, I put in a tornado shelter, and it saved a whole lot of lives, mine included. I read about it in the Paris News, and then I called our emergency coordinator here in Lamar County, Quincy Blunt, and told him, I said, put my name on that list. And he said, it's already on there. He's concerned about us. And he does lots of things for our community. I tell you, he does. He's just a good friend.
I'd been working on getting a safe room grant through TDM and through FEMA for approximately 3 years. The tornado shelters was recognized during our hazard mitigation plan as being something that we can apply for as a grant and hopefully get some more storm shelters into the county in case one of these events happen.
This hazard mitigation program is facilitated by the Texas Division of Emergency Management. When a region is disaster-prone, TDEM will help apply for a grant through FEMA, which funds half the cost of both private tornado shelters and community safe rooms.
We know that tornadoes can occur anywhere in the state of Texas. And as our urban areas continue to expand and the population of Texas continues to grow, we're definitely seeing the impacts of tornadoes increasing. So we work with jurisdictions to fund residential safe rooms and community safe rooms for their communities.
To qualify for the grant, these shelters must meet FEMA's building standards for residential safe rooms. And since the program began in 1998, there hasn't been a single recorded failure of a FEMA-funded storm shelter.
I'm not afraid of much of anything, okay? Because I'm not a spring chicken. I've lived a long time and I hadn't had a tornado shelter. But I just thought about my family, and it was the best thing I ever did, because when that tornado came over, it was frightening, and it made you think, oh, thank you, Lord, we're safe in here, because if we were out there, I don't think we wouldn't have made it.
Sandra DeFreitas was just one of several residents that had tornado shelters funded by TDEM that year. And it was just in time. Because that tornado went on record as one of the largest and most destructive tornadoes to ever touch down in Lamar County.
Tornado is our main concern as far as a large-scale disaster. When a disaster hits, you know, it's never the way you have it planned out. You hope that everything you've done, outdoor warning sirens, outdoor storm shelter grants, training for the volunteers, this is what you trained for. This is what you're supposed to do. So we're trying to coordinate all this. I'm trying to get first responders in. I've got radio traffic in the background that's yelling, you know, I just had 10 homes hit here. I just had this. And I'm sitting there waiting on all these injuries to come in. And they're just not coming in like I was feeling like they were coming in. When I'm looking at the damage as I'm driving down the road, and I'm like, how do you have a tornado on the ground for 26.9 miles going through populated areas, and I don't have fatalities, and I don't have mass injuries? It doesn't make sense to me.
It wasn't until Quincy drove past the local community storm shelter and saw the line of cars parked outside that it clicked. The first responders, outdoor warning sirens, and tornado shelters had all saved countless lives.
Looking back on everything now, I couldn't imagine what it'd be like if we didn't have the storm shelter grants for that event.
I live about a mile down the road, and we lost our home and barn and shop, vehicle in the tornado, and we were here in this shelter. We were the first ones that showed up, and it was packed full of people. And I do feel like it saved a lot of lives. We're fortunate that we had this place.
I got people asking me, begging me, making sure, hey, are you gonna apply for this grant again? And I said, 100%. I said, this grant saved lives.
You know, there's a FEMA statistic that for every $1 of hazard mitigation that you invest, the return is $6. But I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding the investment that they're making until they experience some sort of loss. Because if you lose your house, that's one thing, but you know, your life doesn't have a cost.
I know money today is short, but I mean, you see how it wiped out the community. Flat wiped us out. But the Lord saved us all too. You know, I figure He gave me enough sense to get a storm shelter.